taking healthcare resources from the people who pay into the system. That's me, that's you, that's everyone in this community. If you're watching their show, you're one of us. Everyone who is paying in the system, taking their healthcare resources from them and giving it instead to people who are not paying in the system, including America's own multi-generational deadbeats and tens of millions of illegal migrant third world invaders of our nation. Indeed, the whole program was intended as bait for the third world to provide another inducement for them to invade our nation, replace the American body politic with one that was actually willing to vote for Democrats. It was all a redistribution program to F you for the benefit of illegal foreigners and deadbeats who form the actual Democrat constituency. That was the whole program. You're not paying thousands of dollars a month because you're consuming thousands of dollars a month in healthcare. Most of you are consuming nothing, but you're paying a lot. Why? Because people who are paying nothing, they consume a lot of healthcare resources, and someone's got to pay for it. And it may as well be you, sucker. That's what Obamacare is all about. Everything that foreign-born Kenyan told us about Obamacare was a big, fat, morbidly obese lie.
It will actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.
Nothing but lies. And President Trump says he's ready to change all of this. All of this, he's had enough. He's had enough of Obamacare. Mount Rushmore, make room, baby.
Well, I watched Obama from when this thing came about. As you know, I opposed it very strongly. Unfortunately, we had a couple of negative votes, which should never have happened. But I said it's going to be a disaster, and I was exactly right. The premiums have gone up like rocket ships, and I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about for years they've been going up. And he said premiums will go down. Everything will be wonderful. It's horrible health insurance at a very high price. And what I want, and probably what you're alluding to, is the fact that I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. They're going to feel like entrepreneurs. They're actually able to go out and negotiate their own health insurance. And they can use it only for that reason. That's the beauty, only for that purpose. And if we did that, that would be so exciting. Call it Trump care, call it whatever you want to call it, but anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
How can you not love this guy? Truth Social, no more money, hundreds of billions of dollars to the Democrat-supported insurance companies for really bad Obamacare. The money must now go directly to the people, taking the fat cat insurance companies out of the corrupt system of healthcare. And I'm going to show you exactly how the insurance companies are soaking up billions of our dollars into their own wallets. The people can buy their own much better policy for much less money, saving for themselves an absolute fortune. President Donald J. Trump. Now, of course, in any kind of insurance, it's a risk mitigation program. There are people who will pay and pay and pay and never make a single claim. That happens in auto insurance. That happens in homeowners insurance. And the left today all over social media is mocking people for saying, well, sure, there's a large percentage. I think it's 40% of people on Obamacare never file a claim. Well, first of all, how would you file a damn claim with a $10,000 deductible? How many people have that quantity of healthcare need in a given year? Some people, but not many. It's a lot of money. $10,000 deductible. So of course they're not filing a claim. They're not going to get reimbursed. Second of all, while it's true that you pay for car insurance whether you're going to make a claim or not, and you pay for fire insurance on your home whether you're going to make a claim or not, but the way the insurance is supposed to work is that the insurance company calculates out of a pool of 1,000 people How many of them are likely to have their home burned down, and what's it likely to cost? And the insurance company takes that cost and distributes it over the 1,000 people. So everybody pays a small fraction of the cost of a house burning down. Say statistically, out of 1,000 people, one home is going to burn down. And that was going to cost, I'll make up a number, $300,000 to fix. So what you do is you take $300,000, you divide it by the 1,000 people in the pool, and everybody pays 1/1,000th of $300,000. And statistically, that'll cover the one house fire you expect. And of course, you have to bump it up a little bit because the insurance company is in business to make money. So you add 5%, and that's the insurance company profit. So at the end of the year, everybody paid 1/1,000th. They all paid $300. And that was collectively $300,000. And one unlucky dude's house burned down, cost $300,000 in claims. He got paid out, plus 5% for the insurance company. That's how it's supposed to work. Here's how it's not supposed to work. How it's not supposed to work is 1,000 people each pay in $20,000 a year in insurance payments. And out of those 1,000 people, not a single one of them makes a claim. Now, there is a claim made. There's a claim made by someone who's outside the 1,000 people, someone who never contributed a penny in risk mitigation, an outsider. His house burned down, and the insurance company says, we'll pay for his house out of your premiums. 1,000 people. So those 1,000 people, they each pay $20,000 a year in premiums, no claims by them, a modest $300,000 payout to someone who's not even in the pool, never contributed a penny. And where's all the extra money go? Where's all the extra money go? Let's do a little calculator math, shall we? $20,000 a year times 1,000 people. That's $20 million. They make one payout of $300,000 to the outsider whose house burned down. That means they get to keep $19,700,000. Where do you think that extra money goes? Into the insurance company's wallets. Is what you paid commensurate with the risk mitigation you got, or did you just get robbed by the insurance company? That's exactly what's happening today in Obamacare. The insurance companies are overcharging for the risk mitigation. The payments that are being made are largely being made to non-contributors and illegal migrants, and the insurance company is keeping the difference. And because the insurance company knows there's this disconnect between where the money comes from and who decides where it goes, a lot of the money actually comes from the government. Every time someone signs up for Obamacare and they say, hey, I'm broke, I don't have any money. You know, an illegal migrant who doesn't file a tax return, I don't make any income, senor. The government pays their health care costs. We, the taxpayer, pay their health care cost. And so what do the insurance companies do? And what do the health insurance brokers out there in the marketplace do? They go and they find all these people, tens of millions of people, they sign them up for Obamacare. And the money flows directly from the Treasury into the insurance company's wallet, with a brief stop at the insurance broker who gets a commission on the sale. So the more people they can sign up to Obamacare, legal or not, the more money they make, the insurance companies and brokers make. They realized this opportunity years ago. And so Obamacare is utterly bloated with billions of dollars of fraud. There are people signed up for Obamacare, homeless people, drug addicts on the street. The brokers go out and sign them all up. The brokers will go to Home Depot parking lots and sign up all the illegals. There are people signed up for Obamacare. They don't even know they're signed up for Obamacare. They have no idea, but they're on the rolls. And therefore, a payment is going from the Treasury to the insurance company's wallet from our tax money. It's all a grift. And your money is being stolen from you in this way from the Treasury, and of course, in your own premium payments, which are not intended for your benefit at all, but are intended for the benefit of people who are not paying into the system. By the way, one of the great things about the shutdown, how awesome was the shutdown? How much of the disgusting, rotten underbelly of our federal government was exposed? We discovered there were 43 million people on food stamps. There's only 100 million net taxpayers, individual taxpayers in the whole country. And those 100 million are paying for 43 million people to be on food stamps. Did you know that? You know how many of them were illegal migrant third world invaders? How many of them are multi-generational poor? How the food stamp budget doubled every year under Biden? The fraud. How these people are selling their food stamps on the street, selling them to bodegas for pennies on the dollar to pay for their lashes and their nails. And it's all coming out of your pocket. Twice it's coming out of your pocket, because not only do you have to lose the tax money in the first place to provide the funds for the benefit, so you have less resources for your family, then you're competing in the supermarket for the scarce resource of food against the people who are buying their food with your money. Unbelievable. And would we have known all this about Obamacare? If the shutdown hadn't happened and we hadn't begun seeing these arguments over the continuation of the tax credits or the COVID tax credit, would we have discovered just how corrupt? I mean, we kind of knew, right? Emotionally, you feel it in your wallet. You're making these payments and you're wondering, what am I paying all this money for? And now it's being exposed in a concrete way, particularly how the insurance companies are getting fat.
The hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order.
Let's read this. I'm recommending, this is Trump on Truth Social. I'm recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Indeed, President Trump, we must still terminate the filibuster.
We're going to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over.
Absolutely brilliant move by the president, and I agree with him 100%. These insurance companies, we're subsidizing them to have high health premiums anyways. Keep in mind, ACA.
Keep in mind, I'll add, keep in mind, there's a difference between health insurance and health care, right? So most of us are paying a ton of money in health insurance and not consuming very much health care. We're paying a ton of money in health insurance premiums to provide health care for people who are not paying. Two different things.
Affordable health care has not been affordable. President Obama said it was going to drop premiums by 25%. As we sit here right now, without the premium increase that the health care industry is putting on the American people, it's up 221%. And why are we subsidizing them an additional 4% when they're making record profits? Which I'm a capitalist. I'm okay with insurance companies making money, but taxpayers shouldn't pad their pockets even more on top of that. What President Trump is saying is, hey, let's give the money to the individual and let them choose their own health care and use the money for actual health care rather making insurance companies even more profitable. I think it's brilliant.
Nobody's perfect, but Ted Cruz is pretty good. He writes, the Democrat solution is Obamacare subsidies. That just hides the true cost of Obamacare, right? The subsidies are just taxpayers subsidizing, paying more money to the insurance companies. That's all that is. And of course, that's our taxpayer money. That's our money. When the government spends money, when money chases something that's not of value, that's what drives inflation.
Their solution is what they call the Obamacare subsidies. You know what those are? Those are direct payments to a handful of giant health insurance companies. It's corporate welfare on steroids. And mind you, since Obamacare passed, the profits of the largest health insurance companies have more than doubled. That's what's happened. And so the Democrats are saying, hey, to the working people, your health insurance is going to keep going up and up and up and up. But we, the Democrats, we really want to give billions of dollars to health insurance companies who've doubled their profit.
The money's not going to doctors. It's not going to nurses. It's not even going to drug companies who at least are providing drugs. It's going to the insurance company's bottom line. They're not making 5% a year. They're making huge billions of dollars of profits. That's how they pay their CEOs. Hundreds of millions of dollars a year in salary.
It's because we're forcing people to buy a product even if they don't want to buy it.